Welcome back to the channel. Most effective treatment against the terrier fever other than digging itself. So here is a story called The Kilwilkie Lad by Barry Leggett. This is a tale from the 1960s when life was much different and far less complicated for working dogs and their owners. In those not so far off days, the Irish Kennel Club organized working trials for terriers in two distinct categories, strong dogs and sounders. Both were tests against live quarry, the badger. Both were well organized in a sportsmanlike manner and both took place with very strict rules and under public scrutiny. Kilwilkie Lad was a strong dog, a first-rate badger dog. Supreme in many trials, he gained a host of awards but was equally at home working out in the field, in natural conditions. My grandfather, James Creaney, was at a hunt in Southern Ireland with the Terrier Club. They had a great day's sport, and as they often did, stopped at a pub on their way home to enjoy a pint and to discuss the day's events. The pub was in Dundalk, a working dog stronghold, and my grandfather was offered a Staffordshire bitch. He would never buy on impulse, he was a market dealer by trade, and he would wait and haggle. But anyway, he bought the bitch and, bringing her home that night, kennelled her in the yard. 2 weeks later the club were out locally and James tried the bitch, but she showed no interest at all, and he thought that he'd been caught with a dud dog. Weeks passed, until one day at a market being held at a local fair, he spotted a lad with an English bull terrier. Naturally enough, he engaged the youth in conversation to find out all that he could about the dog and discovered that it was a full-bred pedigree dog, which belonged to the boy's mother. James made it his business to go and see her about having a service for his bitch, and the woman agreed, asking a small fee instead of the usual pup from the litter. In due time the Stafford bitch whelped 8 pups, most of which were purchased by other club members. Harry, my grandfather's brother, ended up with the last of the pups and took it home to his wife Annie, who looked after it and treated it like a child of the house. As time passed the dog grew strong and powerful, and James and his friend Ned took it out to see if it would kill rats. The dog was almost 2 years of age and had a great temperament. Anyway, they put Harry's dog into a barrel with 2 live rats and it made no attempt to kill them. I have heard it said, that a terrier that doesn't kill rats isn't much of a dog, but certainly in this case that proved to be a load of rubbish. James and Ned, probably disappointed, took the dog back home to Harry. 2 months later the club were out hunting and Harry was there with the dog, and you can be sure that he had to endure a great deal of taunting and comment over the strong dog that wouldn't kill a rat. Such news traveled fast in the working dog world. As the day progressed, 2 foxes were dug out and Harry was offered the chance to start his dog on one of them. He entered the dog with the club members all watching and the dog took a hold on the fox at the head and immediately killed it outright. The members were amazed and silenced to see what had happened, and the dog drew the dead fox from the earth, refusing to part with his prize. With great difficulty, he was eventually removed from the carcass and during the whole process he had made no sound at all. Later, this was to become his hallmark, and during his whole career Harry never once heard the dog make any sound while working. This, of course, meant that he was ideally suited for the strong dog trials. As the name suggests, the trials for sounders were a contest for the more usual, earth-working, baying terriers. While being tried these dogs had to continually give tongue. To stop doing so was to fail the test. But for the strong dogs, catch dogs really, the reverse applied. They had to enter the earth and remain, working all the time but never making the slightest sound while doing so. If they also succeeded in drawing the badger from the earth, then so much the better. It was a test of sheer gameness before the mighty badger. Patch, or more formally, Kilwilkie Lad won many cups, trophies and certificates. He was entered as a full-bred dog, for the trials, organized by the Irish Kennel Club, were for the benefit of pedigree dogs rather than crossbreeds. When it was discovered that Kilwilkie Lad was an English bull/Stafford cross, he was barred from taking any further part. But he had made his name by then and brought honor and fame to all that were involved with him. It was the end of his trial career, but he continued to work naturally for many years, until he was retired to enjoy his leisure at home. Several Staffords who have Kilwilkie Lad in their pedigree have also carried his same marking. Most famous of those is CH Psycho. That's all that we have for you today. Until next time, just remember it's 3XO. 1 of 1.